Let's talk about Oregon, Colorado.
Okay.
42-6, 3 points away from hitting my bad news Buffaloes parlay.
Sorry about that.
3 points. 3 points. If your Ducks would have played a little better on offense.
All they really needed to do was what did they? Okay, no, they had a missed 2-point, but then they got a 2-point, so I guess they made up for it there. But yeah,
They
you
made
needed
up
the
for
odd
it, and then
points.
the two parts of the bet that did not hit
Yeah.
were Oregon going over 44.5 points, which a field goal
Oh,
down
that's
the
right. They
stretch,
took their they
and
pulled bow. Yeah.
an odd number of total points, which the field goal would have gotten me. But if they hadn't blocked an extra point after Colorado's touchdown, there would have been no chance of the bet. None.
Right.
So I at least give them credit for that. We had a chance down the stretch. It didn't hit, but Oregon won
Yes.
in very, very resounding fashion. This game was over pretty much before it started. Dan Lanning with a fiery pregame speech telling his team, quote, "They're fighting for clicks. We're fighting for wins." That is a zinger, Dan. That is why you paid the man his money right there, for zingers like that.
Yeah. And look, I don't think it's fully fair. Obviously, they're trying to bring attention to a long dormant program to get the attention of recruits so they can start stacking wins in a way that they haven't been able to do in a long time. It's the strategy to appeal to people to improve their program. So I get where Lanning is coming from as well, that Colorado has received an undue amount of attention for accomplishing not all that much under Deion Sanders, other than generating a lot of cameras and flashbulbs and such. So, yes, you're right. This game was over really quickly. It was over quickly because it became very clear right away that Colorado could not block Oregon up front, that Shadeur
Yeah.
Sanders was going to have to make a ton of, split second, incredible, miraculous A+ decisions if they had a chance to win this game. And as it turns out, even the Oregon secondary was smothering a Colorado receiving core that was, of course, without Travis Hunter, who suffered a hit. We hope he comes back just very quickly. Obviously, he is one of the most talented players in the country. And it was just clear on both sides of the ball, Colorado did not belong in the Willamette Valley, let alone Autzen Stadium. These were two teams that are in different layers of their developmental cycle. And Oregon in year 2 under Dan Lanning, with the way that he's recruited, with the way that Oregon has won a ton of games, with the way Bo Nix has established himself as a Heisman candidate, and not that Shadeur Sanders isn't and can't be, but Bo Nix is, I think the stat is he's the most experienced quarterback in college football. And so it was going to take so much from this Colorado offensive line and defensive front, and they just don't have the guys. And so Oregon ran it down their throat. They got into a rhythm passing. Bo Nix was just crazy accurate, other than basically one bad throw that he threw for an interception. And they leaned on the running game. They leaned on just a wave of defensive linemen coming in and out of the game to just completely harass and harangue Colorado's offense. And so, yes, this was over quite quickly. It was, if the starters were in all, it would have been 77-3 or something like that. So 42-6 is your final. And Oregon, I think, has Stanford next before they take on Washington.
That's going to be
There's a bye in there as well. So I think
Yeah.
it's mid-October is when their next truly big matchup happens.
522 yards for Oregon, just 199 for Colorado. To your point, both teams still had a ton of penalties.
Yes.
It did not play much a factor in the final result, maybe played some factor in my parlay, I don't know. But that is something that both teams are going to need to clean up the deeper they get into the season, particularly Oregon, because I think we both expect Oregon's going to have a lot to play for. And on the Oregon side, I know you said they harassed and harangued, good word,
Thank you.
Shadeur Sanders, 7 sacks on the day for this Oregon defense.
They were all over the place. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was some heavy-footed dudes out there for Colorado, and I think the future is still bright. And it was, I don't know if you caught this. I don't know. You were probably still watching this game because of your 5-part parlay. Just Colorado got their teeth kicked in, and they were spending all of the time on the Colorado sideline. Like, how impressive a job have they done? Like, they're losing by 36 points right now. They were never in this game for a second, and we're gushing over this team. Okay, all right. If that's you, that's a decision. But that felt a little bit odd to me. But maybe I'm too close. As
Speaking of playing for clicks,
yeah.
Speaking of paying for clicks, yeah,
Jesse Palmer's tongue was out like the cartoon wolf. He was so excited to compliment Deion Sanders, and the absolute rocking that Colorado got in Autzen Stadium.
It was
great.
a Jesse Palmer heavy episode
Oh
of
my God,
college football between commercials for the Golden Bachelor, Bachelor in
Oh,
Paradise,
yes.
and then the cartoon wolf move with the Colorado compliments. Yeah.